Hey YouTube, I'm back again with another live video. I was gonna get back into the Trayvon Martin, but it looks like I have two chapters left. And after that last chapter, as y'all see, it was pretty long. And like I said in every video, please excuse me if I pronounce names wrong, if I pronounce a word wrong, and I have to read it over. But with this book, it seems like um the printer that this Trayvon Martin book is kind of smaller than the print in the Tammi Terrell book, which I'm about to bring to y'all today. So that's why it can be a little struggle trying to get through these chapters. But anywho, so like I said, I'm back with Tammi Terrell, my sister Tommie, the real Tammi Terrell, by Ludi Montgomery and Vicky Wright, forward by Dionne Warwick, second expanded edition book. And as y'all see, there are pictures of Tammi Terrell throughout her career. This is a picture of her, Tammi Terrell and her sister when they were younger. And then you have a bunch of other pictures on the back of the book of Tammi Terrell, Marvin Gaye, I guess Tammi Terrell. It's just a bunch of family. Anywho, so we're going to get to chapter 10. I can't believe you love me. Hold on, y'all. Let me take a sip of water. I ain't gonna lie. It would be nice if they had a lot of stuff that you could see in Philadelphia. Since Tammi Terrell is in Philadelphia, it would be nice if we had celebrity wax figure out here, like, and we had like some stuff that you could go to that keep you in memory of Tammi Terrell. But the most you could probably go to is the church that her funeral was at, and you could go to her gravesite. That's you know somebody in her family or know somebody close to her that will take you to locations. I mean, I done seen a few people on YouTube go to her gravesite. I don't know if anybody went as far as going to the church her funeral was at or anything like that, but all right, this is chapter 10. I Can't Believe You Love Me. It was mid 1965, and Tommie finally hit the bullseye. Motown was the biggest recording company in the world in the 1960s. Harry Gordy started the company in 1959 and operated it with fine precision. Just like the car factories of Detroit, everything released on this label was a solid hit and truly captured the world's attention. This was the the sound of young America. The disciplines Tommie had fine-tuned during her long role in the music industry made her perfectly match with the rhythm of this fast-paced company. She had met her match with Motown. The routines were maddening and the schedule was grueling. The first line of business was for Tommie to become acclimatized to her new residence. This was an adjustment for our family and especially our worrisome father. Tommie had never lived anywhere but at home in Philly. She was 20 years old now, but still Daddy knew the rambunctious child he had, and he always worried about her well-being. There was much preparation ahead for her new life. Tommie called me with every update as she set up house in her Detroit apartment. She became increasingly busier than she had ever been in her life. During her phone calls home, Tommie would complain about all the hard work, but then the in next breath she would claim, but it's just fabulous, girl. Ooh, my nose getting a little stuffy, probably because of this fan. The excitement in her voice was catching. I was so thrilled that I could not wait to go visit her in the Motor City. Tommie had a very busy itinerary. What again? My bad, y'all. I am guessing I'm pronouncing stuff wrong. Itinerary again. In addition to her recording sessions, in mid-September, she went into a Hitsville studio for the first time, also in sessions the same week as Tommie were. The Velvets, Kim Weston, and Martin the Vandellas, the Supremes, were also recording their Christmas album with Harvey Fuqua during this period. Tommie was in her element and crossing paths with women she would go down in musical history with. Tommie was under the guidance of producers Harry Fuqua and Johnny Bristol, who wrote many of Tommie's early tunes. Some of her September sessions at Hitsville were I Can't Believe You Love Me and Memory Chess. I recall Tommie was thrilled to be working with Harvey and Johnny. She was friends with Harvey prior to Motown. Harvey and Johnny brought out the best vocal qualities in Tommie through her productions. I Can't Believe You Love Me was her first release. Tommie's voice was so vibrant, fine-tuned, and alive. Mother was in her glory over Tommie's newer sound. Tommie felt exceedingly pure during this time. There was magic in the air regarding her. I would go to school and people would be singing her songs. They just absolutely love my sister. I know Tommie was thrilled and she thrived in this Motown environment. Sadly, Johnny Bristol passed away shortly after sharing his thoughts and insights about my sister. I am truly honored that he participated in this work. Why is all these damn work? Yeah, now I'm seeing where the editing is a little messed up because why is all these words all smashed together? So whoever did this, whoever did this edition, I could see where people saying that stuff was misspelled and stuff was smushed together. And that's probably why I'm over here having trouble reading certain words. I don't know, but anywho. Johnny reflects, I did not know her prior to Motown, nor had I heard her sing. Harvey and I picked the songs for the first album, and the rest came about by quality control. She liked everything that she did. She never complained about anything given to her. She was a great person to work with, and that was the great thing about her. She was easygoing and never demanding. Although a perfectionist and a hard worker, she was a lot of fun, and we had many laughs. We had fun recording because there was never any negativity surrounding her. I can't really say what we would laugh about. It was just good times. Tammy was one of my favorite people, and she deserves the positive to come out about her. Tammy beamed with confidence in the studio. She was willing to try anything we suggested. We had a lot of fun with that. And if something went sour and she could not hit a note or something, we would laugh and have a ball with it. She was funny. She put a lot of herself into the song and she personalized them. The songs were not written to fit her life, but coincidentally they do. Perhaps this is why she felt them so deeply. She could relate to them perhaps, and she put a lot of emotion into them. All during our creative history, I wrote songs that seemed to fit Tammy. And she believed in what she was singing. That made the writing more real for me. I touched her heart with what I wrote, but they were not particularly about her. I didn't give her a song if I didn't think it fit her. She could relate to my words and embrace what I was saying. And she was feeling it too. She was always on top of everything, never had any trouble recording her. She just loved singing so much. There were times when it was just Tammy and me by ourselves when we did our first solo sessions. Harvey would be out of town, and Tammy and I would work along on that for a long time. Mr. Gordy was not in any of my sessions. We had a lot of fun in those early solo sessions. Tammy was very, very nice to me all the time, and I will remember working with her with the fondest of memories and the greatest of feelings. We did not socialize outside Motown. We worked together and were colleagues. I loved her as a person, and she was just a sweetheart. Okay. Levon Debs, the Indante, the entity, the entities, whatever that group is called. What the hell? Is forever bond with Tommie on these recordings. The indentes were the women. Are the women who harmonized so beautifully in the background on the majority of the Motown recordings. They work with Tammy extensively. Yeah, I'm gonna have to further read this book because I was gonna go down. I was gonna hold on. I was gonna go and read people opinions on Amazon about the book. Let me see. All right, anyhow, the first time that I saw Tammy, everyone was ranting and raving about her, and I wanted to know what it was about her they were buzzing about. What I saw was there. What I saw was there was a confidence, and then there was also a softer side of her, a real quiet side. I did not focus on that until later when I would reflect back to that time. Timmy was very robber, and she had an air of confidence that sometimes when you are young like that, some people may confuse that as arrogance. But it was more of a confidence she carried with her. I wish I had a little bit of what Tammy had. She wasn't in Detroit very long when she did a TV commercial, and to my knowledge, she was the first one that I knew of at Motown to be in a commercial. She was so sassy in it too. She was sassy and sharp, and her spirit just beamed through. I believe her spirit is still singing. She was warm and nice in the studio. I saw her as someone who had it together. We spent some time in the studio, but often the entities did their parts with or without the lead voice there. I did not know her like that. I did not know her like some others knew her because I was so quiet then and I didn't go out much. Our job as the entities was to get in there and get the work done. We would go out and do shows with some artists, but not all of them. I never went out with Tammy. I can say that I don't think very many people knew her as well as they thought they did. I spent some time with her and I knew what I saw and experienced. I think I could have been a little professionally in awe of her, especially when I saw her on TV. You know, when you see someone who is cute, and when I found out that she could sing, I wish for a moment that I could have been her career wise. Everything came in so naturally, and there was such a flowing that she accompanies. Silk blowing in the wind is how I would describe her. I do not know what she did in her life to get to that kind of space, but it just naturally flowed for her. This was not a jealous kind of thing that I felt. I was just in awe of her. Being a singer, I respect another artist who is great. I was happy to have the opportunity to work with her and to sing on her songs. Jackie Hicks, also of the Entity, says, I enjoyed recording with her. She was a very likable person and easy to get along with. I kept to myself at Motown. She was pleasant to record with and made work fun at the studio. In October, Tommie will open for Marvin Gaye at the 20 Grand, the same place where she got her big break just a few months previously. Marvin was going to on record relating that he had not heard Tommie sing before they actually began working together. So this was one of their first encounters. Marvin would become her truest friend, confident and singing partner. He would discover the magic of Tommie's voice in the near future. Tommie would record two more songs in October. There are things and hold me, oh darling. Tommie phoned home and told me to get a train ticket and come to New York. She gave me the address and number of where she was staying. I packed a few things and went off to New York to rendezvous with her. Tommie's hotel was nice, with a moderately furnished lobby. I took an elevator up to her room, knocked on the door, and Tommie greeted me with a kiss and let me in. We did not have much time to talk, as she would do at the Apollo in about an hour. We grabbed a quick bite to eat and we were off to the show. We arrived backstage about 15 minutes before the opening. Tommie had already applied her makeup and she looked great. An usher showed me to my seat. The power was swinging that night. On this show with Tommie were the Marvelous, Martha and the Vandellas, the Miracles, and Gladys Knight and the Pips, just to name a few. Tommie and her peers would become legends someday. You could not possibly see a show like that today. So much talent for such a small price. It was impossible for me to believe I was among the lucky ones. I never had to pay, and I didn't have to stand in line. Such a nice perk. The atmosphere in the Apollo was like none other on Earth. It was an exciting scene. The room was filled with sparks and fire. Show business people were not like any others. They spend their days sleeping in their nice work and performing and partying. You really had to love the lifestyle and to allow everything in your life to become topsy turvy every day. Believe me, my sister loved it, and even more so at this point. She had a deep commitment to it and loved showbiz so much. The Motown Review traveled from state to state and sometimes did one nighters, but more often week long gigs at local theaters and state universities. The show would be on the road for months at a time and little time to rest. I must have gone to every show in New York that week. I was elated. Tommie's friends from Philly would never really see much of her. And the same goes for her industry colleagues. Gene Chandler. I would see Tammi and stay a friends with her, but she was really busy now. Jerry Butler. We would run to each other from time to time. I was happy that she was doing so well there. She was so much busier now, and I did see her out there. And yeah, Jerry, I remember the name Jerry Butler. That's the one who worked with Aretha Franklin. Tommy Bird, I mean Bobby Bird. I'm sorry. And I know Bobby Bird worked with James Brown. We kept in touch for a while, and we would try our best to keep it together in friendship. She was so busy and out on the road all the time now. We had what we had when we had it. We crossed paths every now and again. Tommie called home to explain to us that Barry Gordy had changed her last name to Terrell. She was now Tammy Terrell. It had a more artistic ring to it, like Marilyn Monroe or Dorothy Dandridge. I thought it was a cool new name, but I worried that my friends would not know Tammy Terrell was my sister. The kids in school knew Tammy Terrell's music and would ask me if she was my sister. They would claim that she really was not my sister. I developed an inferiority complex and withdrew from answering this question or repeated occasion. I mean, on repeated occasions. We heard less from her then than at any other time in her career. When Tommy played at the Uptown where it had all begun, we would see her when she came in for that. It was amazing that she was just a girl at the Uptown years before, and now she was performing on the same bill as the Supremes, the Temptations, Stevie Wonder, Shorty Long, and even ventriloquist, uh, ventriloquist. I hope I'm saying that right. Willie Tyler and his dummy Lester. Coming home to Philly was always a treat for Tommy. Her friends and family were here, and she was a local talent who was doing so great now. Philly always welcomed Tommy with open arms. Her priority at home had soured. Sometimes Tommie would share billing with performers who weren't signed to Motown, artists such as the Pinkney Robert Dancers and Ike and Tina Turner. The shows were hot this year. The Supremes were dynamite, and Tommie was a great admirer of them. The ladies were wigged up and made up to look just like dolls. The Supremes were always very nice to me and carried themselves with a lot of class. The tints were sharp as ever, and the Vandellas gave superior performances. Tina Turner was wild and sassy. Tommie introduced me to her at the Uptown. Tina commended me on my cuteness, and she asked me if I sing. Tommie said, "Yeah, she is cute, but this girl only sings in the shower and is afraid to sing in front of a bug." Okay, so Tammy Terrell knew Tina Turner. Well, obviously she knew a lot of people. Uh, After the shows, the performers would go to a little row house located across the street from the Uptown stage door. They served soul food there, and that was so delicious your knees would shake. The performers would play cards and drink until the wee hours of the morning. This is when I began my friendship with Stevie Wonder. We were inseparable. Okay, so I guess Tammy's sister had her fair share of being friends with people too. That's what's up. Whenever a show was in Philadelphia, Stevie and I would hang out at that little house. Stevie also visited our home. Mommy and Daddy truly loved him. Stevie was such a pleasure. We had a comedic side to his personality, and all of us just enjoyed being in his company. CCW had a chance to see Tommie when she came back home to Philly. I saw her at the Uptown after she became Timmy Terrell. She was still Thompson Montgomery to me. She embraced me and addressed me in the same manner she had when we were kids. She was still the same warm person to me. She was not snobby at all, and she was just so nice even after becoming famous. She had a bright side to her life, and people need to know that about her. I did not know she could sing like that when I knew her from the same. From the time we were children. I was so proud of her accomplishments. When you come up with someone and grow up together, you are happy for them when they succeed. Yeah, back then, maybe, but now, you got a lot of motherfuckers who show jealousy or envy because they ain't get that same popularity. Shit, I'm pretty sure I may have ran into people that's probably rapping now, singing now, and doing shit now. That's a whole nother story. I lived in Southwest. I'm pretty sure a lot of people that I grew up around, they probably rapping, singing, and doing shit. I lived in West Philly, and it's a lot of people that be doing their own thing. I done live. Even in North Philly, I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people that's doing their own thing. And I never was jealous. To be honest, I was the type of person that I don't know. I was to myself because a lot of people did shit that I ain't never really listened to. I was my own. I had my own type of genres I listened to. I supported eventually because I'm like, damn, I grew up with these people, and I'm the only person that probably. How can I put this? All right, it was this one boy on the block when I lived at on Belly Street near Hunting Park and Fox Street or whatever. It was this one boy who I grew up with, and he rapped or whatever. And I would hear people listen to his rap throughout the years and shit like that. But like I said, I had my own interests and shit. But then it got to the point where I'm like, I'm older. I grew up with him, so yeah. I mean, I don't want to be the only person on the block that's acting like I had any problems because he never gave me any problems. So yeah, I bought a shirt or whatever because he had this. I think it's called Her Dad or something. So I eventually got a shirt because I'm like, well, damn, why not? I don't want to be the only. I mean, everybody else on the block buying his shirts and shit like that, and they hearing his music and shit like that. I'm like, he never had. I mean, I never had a problem with him. He never gave me any issues. I was cool with him. I was cool with his brother. I'm cool with his sister. I'm cool with pretty much. That, to be honest, that's probably the only house on the block where never had it. No, it wasn't. Um, but that was probably one of the only houses on the block that I never had issues with. Well, anyway, let me get back to this story because I'm over here talking about a whole bunch of other shit. Our piano teacher Susan will catch up with Tommie again. Also, when she came to Philly to do Showtime, Cena was well received and accepted musically in Philly. In Detroit, she was an outsider more or less and was often misunderstood, but here she was at home. Your neighbors and friends now, I mean, your neighbors and friends know you intimately and support you. They are there for you every day. To understand her, you had to take the time to get to know her. Claudette Robinson of the Miracles is the official first woman of Motown and was one of Tommie's truest friends during her time there. She recalls meeting Tommie much earlier in the 60s. I met Tammy in Philadelphia at the Uptown Theater. The Flamingos were the ones to introduce her to the Miracles. The year was in the early part of the 60s, possibly around 1961 or 1962. Her personality was bubbly, charming, and personable, and captivating. She seemed to excuse what? Said a sophistication and maturity beyond her years. Tammy was dynamic on stage. She had charisma and probably would have been considered a true diva. Tammy had a good sense of humor, looking at the positive side of life rather than the gloom and doom. Tammy was truly beautiful in every sense of the word. She had a drop dead gorgeous figure and was built like a brick house. She was not pretentious. As I reflect on my memories of her, she was as beautiful on the inside as she was on the outside. She was delightful, with a great personality, and was charming. She was the cutest girl you would ever want to see. Her spirit was reflected outwardly. The only side Tammy I knew was the positive side, and I never knew the rumors about her that came out. As far as I am concerned, they are just rumors. I knew her more closely than some of the others did and consider her a dear friend. She was a sweetheart of a lady. Anytime you are in the entertainment industry and anytime you step out into a stage, there will be people who do not like you, and they will not like you for the simple fact that everyone else does like you. She was confident and at times misunderstood. It was a matter of a girl being beautiful, young, talented, and smart all in one package. At times, competition comes into play, and that is more of just a girl thing. It comes from being young as you grow and mature out of that way of thinking. And when the individual becomes more of a woman in her own life, it makes it possible to be happy for someone like Tammy and appreciate a fellow woman performer. She was a pace setter for the evolution of rhythm and blues and pop. Okay. I'm trying to read, but my nose is a little stuffy. I'm almost done. Fellow Miracles member Bobby Rogers. She was a beautiful young lady, soft like a bunny. Her skin was just so soft, and she was cute as can be. When I met her, she was Timmy Montgomery. So I knew her for a while before she came to Motown. She was a fantastic performer, and all the men loved her. The men would shower her with minks at 20 grand when she played there. P. More of the Miracles. I loved her as a person, as an artist. She was a beautiful person. We partied a lot. Our relationship was platonic. Only a few women in the world would cause so much commotion when entering the room. I kept the men off of her and would not let anything happen to her. We hung out and went to parties in San Francisco and North Beach. She had a personality personified. Tammy was outspoken and didn't let people push her around. That's what I loved about her. At the same time, she was truly a lady. All the ladies at Motown were grown to be true ladies. Johnny Bristol had this to say about Tommy when it came to her deep connections with people. Everyone had their own special relationship with her. Whenever I think of Tammy Terrell, I smile. She was certainly special to me. The greatest wish is that she knows how much she truly meant to people. Tammy was being managed by Larry Maxwell now, and Motown kept her on her toes quite busy. In December, she would go back to the studio to record Slow Down. She was also busy in the artist development department where she was fine tuning her stage presence with choreographer Charlie Atkins. Tommy would perform Christmas and New Year's shows, and she did not come home for the holidays this year. We flew to see her whenever she was performing. Charlie Atkins spent immeasurable amounts of time with Tommy. We spent a lot of time together at Motown. She was an excellent, fine artist and very talented. In fact, I was instrumental in bringing her to Motown. When she was with Jerry Butler, I was working for Jerry's manager. Tammy was on tour with Jerry. I happened to be in Washington, D.C. with them, and I met her. We became friends, and I told her that I had an opportunity to go to Motown. I told her I would try to get her connected there too. When I got to Motown, I talked to my boss, who was Harvey Fuqua, and he had already heard and knew about Timmy from the earlier days. They saw her show with Jerry, and she met with everybody's approval. And when Harvey and Johnny Bristol began to and hold up, and then Harvey and Johnny Bristol began to produce her. Morris King and I were at in artist development, and we did a lot of work with her. We helped her to find the material she should do on stage. She had the talent on the stage, but we put the show together. The theatrics of the stage, including stage presence and interacting with the audience. She was excellent and responded beautifully to direction. She was definitely on the right road for Broadway and other aspects like that. She was talented in that area and was an excellent dancer. I was helping her to prepare for other venues besides recording. I saw she had so much talent within, far beyond merely singing. She was outstanding with a natural ability, which is a quality that many artists didn't have. She didn't need much coaching. I was teaching her so many other tactics, but she was a natural, and I supplemented that with wisdom. I was very close to her. We called, she called me her Uncle Charles. I would try to help her to stay on the right mental track. There was a lot of competition at Motown, and I would keep her mental focus strong and tell her to keep on singing and doing her thing. Others were being promoted faster than her, and I was helping to keep her grounded and wait for the doors to open for her. Charlie passed away shortly after we talked with him. Bless you, Charlie, for being there. Rest peacefully and give Tommy a big hug. In February of 1966, Tommy would record the song that would become my all-time favorite. All I do is think about you. For more than 30 years, this song was buried in the vault until, thanks to Harry Winger at Universal Music Group Motown in 2002, it was released and shared with her fans on a CD set called The Cellarful of Motown. I had never heard this song until recent years. Clarence Paul produced the record, and Stevie Wonder, Clarence Paul, and Morris Broadniks wrote the song. Tommy shines on it. Her performance is brilliant, and I think it is one of her best solo recordings ever. The Anthony Tates and Tommie blend so beautifully on this song, like angels. It truly is a wonderful song, and I appreciate it so much more because my friend Stevie wrote it. Willie Tyler worked with my sister quite a lot during 1966. Willie Tyler and Lester would MC the Motortown Review, and he spent some time with her. Sorry. We worked together on many occasions. She was a very energetic young lady, a nice lady. She would walk into a room and she would light it up. She had an upbeat personality. When she was first on the Motown, I did not know her before, but I knew she had been around in the business. The talent scouts had been watching her for some time. When we toured and traveled, she would be on the bus and be the life of the party. She kept everyone laughing. She would be the one who would be cracking everybody up. Nothing ever bothered her, and she had a good energy. If she said anything, people listened to her, and she got respect. Tammy was streetwise as well as street smart. Smart, I'm sorry. You could not know her. She had started in this business really young. She was far advanced in her years. We worked in the southeastern parts of the country. It would be the Contours, the Temptations, and Little Stevie Wonder touring all together. When she was on stage, you pretty much would just watch her the whole time. She was great on stage. She was friendly to her fans and would joke around all the time. She would walk right into the crowd and talk to people at her shows. She had a great sense of humor and was bubbly, with me being the ventriloquist. I believe that's how you pronounce that because I think I was having, I think I was having trouble. She would talk to Lester. She would talk to him, joke with him, and flirt with him when she was in the wings waiting to go on stage. That stands out in my mind because she would play along with Lester. Tammy was the trailblazer. She did things that other women may not have done, and she was wild. She was bold. If she wanted to talk to someone, she just went up and would talk to them. Tammy was like one of the guys and had no ego about her when it came to hanging out. One time I remember that she had to go to Canada and do a show called Swinging Time with Robin Seymour. She needed a ride over there, so my brother and I drove her. Swinging Time was like a dance party show, and we drove her to the taping of the show. It was in the Windsor area, and when the X had a record out, and they would perform on that show. All the way over, we talked. She was young at heart. The trip to Detroit, from Detroit to Windsor is only about 30 minutes. So we had a great fun time on that car trip. Oh my god. Mary Wilson of the Supremes. We ran across Tammy many times prior to her coming to Motown. Tammy was a wonderful performer. She was a fun performer, personable, and a great stage person throughout her career. She was playful and real on stage. We saw Tammy a lot and we worked with her later on. When all the Motown performers would work together, she did our shows. We did one tour and she was just one of the girls. The girls hung together and the guys hung together. She was just a fun person. She was friendly and everybody liked her. We did the Chitlin circuit and she was usually on those tours with us. We played the Apollo, the Howard Theater, the Royal Theater. Usually all the ladies hung together. She was never standoffish. She wanted to be part of the crowd and be with everybody. She was sassy and elaborate when we talked, but we loved her. You can tell she wanted to go places. She was always having fun, joking, fibbing, and telling stories. She was just Tammy. We liked to have fun. She liked to have fun and was looking for happiness. She was trying to make everyone laugh and feel good. Tammy was one of the people at Motown who did make musical history. Kim Weston knew Tommie from the early days of their careers. Kim's comments are from a 1980s interview that my father and I did to commemorate the 10th anniversary of Tommie's passing. I met Tammy at the Apollo Theater in New York City. From that time on, it was quite an experience. She was quite a young lady. Then we later connected at Motown when she moved to Detroit. We had a very nice friendship. When I felt for her, I still feel for her. It was She was like one of my sisters, like Rhonda Rogers or Martha Reeves. These are women who have a special place in my heart. I don't think there will ever be another Timmy Terrell. She was one of a kind. She had a vibrant personality. Anyone who saw her perform knew she was an exciting talent. She had the kind of fire that Alona Falana had, and she was very at the point of grooming herself to make another change into womanhood. She was young when she first started. She was young when she died. The lives she touched, she made a super impression on. I did see Tammy in LA at the Whiskey with Smokey Robinson. She did different styles. She could sing pop, blues, and she did impersonation. She had a great rapper with the crowd, and she was bubbly on stage. We would go see each other's shows. Tammy could sing, and she didn't get the opportunity to go into the height that she was capable of. But she made an immeasurable contribution. Trying to cover all of Tommie's colleagues for this book, I really wanted feedback from Jenny Bradford. She was with Motown from the start and now continues to carry on the torch with her work through the Hall Awards and other organizations she is involved with. She is Motown's first receptionist and wrote songs as well. She was so tiny and cute and different from the norm. She was an individual for sure. Tammy had a smile that matched the sunshine. I did not know her very well. I was there at Motown from day one, but I was not around her that much. I did see her perform though, and she was a dynamic performer. There was spirit that was visible. Okay, so I got through that chapter. I'm done. I'm going to get back to y'all with this book again pretty soon. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, share it with friends and family. Feel free to donate to Kashmere Majesty 26 on Cash App. If you want to see me do other videos such as books that I probably don't have, wig reviews, mannequin hair reviews, or if you just like it and want to support my channel. But yeah, I'll get back to y'all probably later on today.